Presidency. Reply by the President.
Kirshni, thank you very much, and welcome to Parliament, to this special broadcast coming to you live from our studios in Parliament. In just a few minutes, we'll cross you into the next.
Second comment.
Jacob Zuma is expected to reply to the budget vote debate. Remember, yesterday the President was led the budget vote. And today he's replying to all of the debate that took place. We understand that proceedings have already gotten underway in the National Assembly. Let's now cross you live.
Ministers and deputy ministers, honorable members of this parliament, thank you for the opportunity to respond to the 2015 Presidency Budget Vote 1 debate. I wish to thank all honorable members for the contributions that have been made to the debate. Deputy President Ramaphosa said yesterday that the country is not on a slippery slope, and that we are on an upward slope, making steady progress. Indeed, we stand by our statement that the country is making progress. Some of the honorable members on the opposition benches need to accept the fact that reversing the legacy of apartheid will take decades. The damage was extensive, damage of centuries. We cannot fix it overnight. The structure of the apartheid economy will also take longer to transform. It's a reality. And if you wish, we should get into the details, we could do so. We will continue to work steadily towards this goal, so that we build an inclusive economy that will create jobs and help us build a better life for our people. Because the apartheid economy was racial, excluded people, excluded the majority, and that's what we are dealing with now. Not just excluded them from proper education. Actually took a decision that Africans or black people don't need maths, because where would they use it for? That was Dr. Verwoerd. It's not a secret. All they had to do was to learn how to communicate. And that's a damage. That's why we have the education problem today. That's why we have the problem of unemployment. That's why we have all of these are issues we had to redress because of apartheid. Apartheid took hundreds of years, not just 21, damaging the country. In February, we announced an economic growth target of 5% by 2019. We reaffirm this target, knowing fully well that it is not going to be easy to achieve it. We recommit to it because all of us in the country have to make an effort and play our part to achieve inclusive growth. The quarterly Stats SA report helps us to keep track of progress and to enhance our efforts. Honorable Godi warned that we should guard against a sense of normality about the poverty and suffering of the poor. You also reminded us that the greatest challenge of our time remains the fight against unemployment, inequality, and poverty, which remains a disproportionate burden of the African people in general, and the working class in particular. Indeed, we will never rest for as long as there are still people with no food to put on the table in the country. You will recall, honorable members, that we have interventions in place already which are igniting growth. The economic cluster is implementing the 9-point growth plan that I announced in the State of the Nation address in February. The plan is a response to 4 big challenges that slow down growth. These include the current electricity shortage, the availability and cost of broadband, and regulatory environment that is cumbersome, and labor market stability. All of these are being addressed. Deputy Minister Mzwandile Masena provided an update on what we are doing to promote economic growth, including enhancing trade with the continent and globally. The matter was also covered by Honorable Smith, who called for strengthened partnerships with SADC and BRICS, given the economic challenges faced by our equally valued trade partners in Europe and the United States. Honorable members also raised the issue of load shedding. This is also being addressed. Government has completed a medium-term outlook model for the supply and demand of electricity. The model indicates that demand will exceed supply for the next 24 to 36 months. To increase supply, Eskom is implementing a structured plan maintenance, which is a program to ensure that the availability of all power stations is improved. Eskom has also commissioned the supply of 100 megawatts from Sere Wind Farm here in the Western Cape, while 827 megawatts of cogeneration contracts have been signed, adding much needed capacity. It must be noted that Eskom added 160,000 households to the electricity grid in the past financial year, which added to the demand of electricity. These were the people who were excluded by apartheid, by the way. Looking ahead, the Minister of Public Enterprises, Ms. Lynn Brown, has asked Eskom to accelerate the completion of the build programs. The Minister has also directed the utility to improve its project management and contracting in order to increase the generation capacity of the existing fleet. The Minister of Energy, Ms. Tina Joemat-Pettersson, and her department are currently focused on implementing the other 4 key components of the government 5-point plan to address the electricity challenge. The role of this department is to ensure that there is sufficient, reliable, and consistent supply to meet the growing demand. The Department of Energy has a program to procure additional supply using independent power producers. The additional supply will come from coal, renewables, cogeneration, and also gas to power. The Gas to Power initiative offers a new investment in the economy, as significant infrastructure will have to be installed. Honorable members, to reduce the time required before regulatory authorization are provided, government has synchronized environmental impact assessments for water and mining rights applications and has set a maximum of 300 days for all these authorizations to be issued. We announced earlier this year the establishment of a fast-tracking interdepartmental clearing house for investors for problem solving, comprised of the Department of Trade and Industry, Home Affairs, SA Revenue Service, and Economic Development. To stabilize labor relations, government will implement the agreements reached with business and labor, including the consideration of a national minimum wage. The revitalization of mining towns, which is another project we committed to, is continuing, as reported by Minister Jeff Radebe, who chairs the interministerial committee responsible for this intervention. Agriculture has a huge potential for job creation and is one of our key targets to ignite growth. Interventions include providing market access for smallholder farmers and providing technical support, as well as bringing 1 million hectares of land into full production over the next 3 years. Government and the private sector have also developed the agricultural policy action plan. Support for the manufacturing sector is also continuing as part of promoting growth. We have committed more than 2.8 billion rand to companies in the manufacturing sector through the Manufacturing Competitiveness Enhancement Program, as I indicated earlier this year. Let me reiterate what I said yesterday, that we value the positive contribution of the National Infrastructure Plan to the country's competitiveness. We are on the right track, and we will continue with this program. There are also big investment opportunities for the private sector in the massive public infrastructure build program. Already, we have achieved notable successes in locomotive and bus production. We will also actively support domestic manufacturing enterprises, including in shipbuilding and marine engineering, as part of Operation Phakisa in the ocean economy. Economic growth will not be achieved by government alone. It takes all sectors, business, labor, and politicians. We need to reach a stage where honorable members make constructive suggestions on how to improve economic growth. South Africa belongs to all of us. Minister Radebe raised this issue of people who forever see horror stories and make a habit of talking South Africa down. It does not help our country at all. Our country is doing well under difficult global economic conditions. This to those who are patriotic is a period of unity in action and not point scoring. Honorable Kubisa, you said accountability by government is a constitutional obligation that the presidency should enforce. We agree totally, and we are enforcing it, which is why government reports regularly to Parliament and to the public through Izimbizo and other mass communication mediums. We have also taken note of your request that we should report regularly on the establishment of the new development bank, or BRICS Bank. The work towards operationalization of the bank is according to schedule. All countries expect to complete the ratification of the agreement establishing the bank next month, June 2015. The inaugural meeting of the governors of the bank is set to take place in July 2015 at the 7th BRICS Summit in Russia. Federal Russia. Huh? You love it, eh? It is expected that the president and 4 vice presidents of the bank would have been appointed by the time of the summit. The new development bank is expected to commence business in the second half of 2015. A technical secretariat to be based in Shanghai will carry out the day-to-day work of operationalizing the bank. The African Regional Center, upon commencement of business, will immediately be open to consider projects on the continent. Honorable Cardo, I would caution against problematizing all professionals. All professionals who are appointed to senior positions. You are stereotyping of all appointees as being cronies, and liable is really unfortunate and uncalled for. It actually smells of something that I'm not going to say. These are South Africans who take up very difficult appointments in a developing country with serious challenges of reversing the apartheid legacy. Most of the senior appointments in government and public institutions are doing a hard and thankless task in which people are attacked every day for doing their job. We need to show some appreciation to many of them who do their jobs diligently and professionally, serving the nation. We should also be cautious about stereotyping and stigmatization of black professionals, as it works against the non-racial society we are working so hard to build. We should support all those who work selflessly to help us achieve the country's developmental goals. Deputy Minister Manamela responded to questions about the National Youth Development Agency. The agency has been repositioned and is functioning effectively to support youth development and empowerment. Honorable Olomisa we have noted your comment that we are not mobilizing the country behind the economic transformation program, including the National Infrastructure Plan. The Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission Management Committee, led by Minister Quinty, and the Secretariat, led by Minister Patel, will look into this matter and undertake remedial action, especially with regards to communicating the program to the public and stakeholders. We also share your concern about the culture of lawlessness. Indeed, it cannot be tolerated. Campaigns such as Operation Fiela are designed to deal with this challenge. We urge members of Parliament to assist us as well in addressing this culture in their constituencies, as it needs to be a collective effort by all leaders in society to promote respect for authority and the laws of the country. Honorable Madiba Inkosi Zwelivelile, you touched on an important matter, the need to celebrate our arts and culture and our artists. The Presidency takes this matter seriously. We have, over the past 5 years, run a consistent program of supporting artists. The Deputy Minister in the Presidency leads a team of Deputy Ministers who support performing arts and musicians on matters including piracy, copyright, protection and infringement, airplay in the broadcast media, social welfare and social security, as well as income tax awareness. A key achievement of the past term was to get the artists to be united and to have one umbrella body to liaise with government. The Creative Industries Federation of South Africa was thus launched in March this year. The Presidency will continue to support artists, working with the Department of Arts and Culture so that we do not have a recurrence of the situation where our artists die destitute, while they have brought joy to millions of people during their careers. Minister Shabangu, thank you for reminding the House about gender parity. The mission of our government is to create a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous society. You correctly pointed out that the cornerstone for Africa's development is the advancement of women and youth as agents of change. Honorable members, a number of contributors raised the question of the Marikana report. I think it is important to remember that when Marikana happened, precisely because we appreciated the extent of Marikana. We decided to establish a commission and asked a judge to chair it. They were given a particular period, but once they started working, they realized they needed more time. And they actually asked for an extension more than once. And precisely because we appreciated the importance of the matter they were dealing with, we gave them the extensions. They've completed the report, and they've submitted the report to the President, and followed it by coming to brief the President on the report. Now, like all other reports, the President has to look at the report and apply his mind, look at the advice by those who are professional, who understand the law, who must therefore help, particularly when it comes to the recommendations. And this is what the President is busy doing. I made this point in my presentation, and therefore the issue of gave the report as a slogan is being done as if we don't care about this matter, as if this very commission was not appointed by us. And there is no report that is not going to be given, but we cannot just give the report for the sake of it without any clear instructions or direction what must be done on the recommendations. The manner in which the contribution has been made here by some members is just, we want the report, we want the report. But you get the report, you read it, you can't do anything about it. You won't. Because for you to be just for information, because the President has to say what must be done about the recommendations. And it is important, therefore, for us to be aware of this. Now, that's a problem of the parties that suffer from poverty of politics, because they have no substantial political issues to raise in Parliament. That's a problem. Anything that comes, they jump onto it and become a slogan. That's a problem. The poverty of politics. They've got nothing to raise. That's a problem. Because if you listen to our good friends, the opposition, I'm telling you, you can think you live in another world. You know, some people who could not pronounce Kandla, they've now learned Nkandla, Nkandla, Nkandla. Even if you tell them the Nkandla report is being processed, is going to come. I mean, 3 investigations have been made. Nkandla, even if we are discussing very serious matters, a man stand up, point of order. Yes, Nkandla. Tix was a George Cook. Hey. That's part of the problem. Again, it emphasizes the poverty of politics in our opposition parties. I can't remember. You know, part of the reason I can't deal with all the contributions. I'm dealing with contributions that were very meaningful. Because others, there was nothing said. There is a broken president in a broken country. You know, my babu. Now, at the end of that contribution, you try to find out what is it that I could respond to. What is it really? Is it true? Now, you can't. So you have to respond to people who said things very seriously. If the opposition must say, for an example, what is the alternative of their policy to the current policy? No debate in that area. No debate. Others want to stand for hours, just one after the other. Point of order, point of order, point of privilege, point of... Where my babu? You know, Honorable Speaker, I will be failing in my duty if I do not comment on how your democratic parliament is conducting its business during this time. As elected leaders of our people in this house, we have a joint responsibility to build the country. And we have a responsibility to demonstrate to those who elected us that we are here doing serious business. Parliamentarians should appreciate this responsibility. The responsibility is to work to better the lives of our people. Let me reiterate that Parliament is an important pillar of our democracy. Members of Parliament must demonstrate that they take Parliament seriously so that our people can continue to look up to this institution. I've met few colleagues in the continent who look at our TVs. They've been asking me, what is happening to our parliament? We thought we are learning from South Africa. What is happening? And I say to them, well, we'll put it right, don't worry. It's our duty to help our colleagues. The conduct of some of the members of Parliament raises doubt about their commitment to the work of this Parliament. We trust that the matters of the decorum will be taken seriously so that we do not disappoint our people. I wish one day I could be given just one day to be the presiding officer. Just one day. But of course, it can't happen. But it is absolutely important for us to know we have a responsibility to our people. The manner in which at times we behave, we actually undermine their intelligence, why they elected us to this house. As leaders of this House, we are South Africans, and we have a duty to build our country together. Let us work together to build a truly non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa. It's absolutely important. I have said before, and to the leaders of the opposition parties, that being an opposition in democracy, I understand it differently. We have got to oppose, and your opposition must be felt. It must be constructive, because if we are not serious, we are not going to take you serious. We are not going even to listen what you say. We need you to say, you are wrong here, you are not doing things well, and argue. Let us have a democratic discussion, a debate that deals with the issues of the country. You can't sit and finish a year discussing a house of one man. Just one man. A house. Just a house. Nor can you take allegations and make them judgments. It's never done. Democracy doesn't necessarily allow you to do whatever. Democracy, you know, it takes time. You know, yesterday, we were supposed to finish dinner at 8. We started dinner at 8. Why? You know it. So, let you appreciate the fact that as leaders, I appreciated the interventions of Gamtwa, because he has always said, we did not fight for our freedom to behave like this. He has said so. That we need to be responsible. It is absolutely important that we should be responsible. Now, you can't just take Parliament as another place as if it is in kindergarten. It's a serious matter. We are dealing with the country. It's as serious as when we're fighting for liberation. We need to change South Africa for the better. And we can't change it in the manner in which we conduct ourselves. Now, as I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, you can't even take time to respond to real cogent argument. What do you respond to? A broken president, a broken country? My babo. Wanda msebenzi. Imali yodwa engekho. I'm pleading. Let us change. Let us change. Let us respect the rules. Let us respect the presiding officers. Let us respect one another. It's absolutely important. Let us raise our issues with dignity. Let us show this continent that we belong to that we have something to offer as a democracy in South Africa. So that those who we are following, they can learn from us. It's absolutely important. It's a plea. You have a right, you have a discipline of your own parties. Our discipline is known. Highly disciplined. And that's why the people of this country will vote ANC all the time. No, don't worry about that. There are parties that will never grow beyond a particular point. And they know it as they sit here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker. We are running away, President. We are running away, President. President is running away.
Honorable Speaker, can you call police for this choir, man? I want to speak to cogent arguments. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable President, I can assure you, you don't want to be a presiding officer for 1 minute. I thank the Honorable President. That concludes the debate on this budget vote.
Point of
and
order.
The business for the day.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What is the point of order? Honorable.
Is this the discipline? Is this the discipline of the ANC?
Honorable Steenhuisen, what is the point of order?
Is this the discipline of the ANC that we've been seeing boasted about? Very disciplined. Good to see.
Honorable members, the House is not yet adjourned. I only thanked the President. Honorable Steenhuisen.
Madam Speaker, there were several points of order taken yesterday, and the presiding officer agreed to go back and consult Hansard. Now, there were some serious points of order taken yesterday, serious matters that affected the quorum of the House. I'm sorry the President's run away because he expressed a great deal of interest in the quorum of the House, but he's gone now, see. Great respect for Parliament. But nevertheless, these rulings are important that they be given. They cannot be left to simply carry on for days. There were serious allegations made against the Honourable Mayamani, which don't require a long explanation or investigation. They were personal, they were out of the rules, and I expected a ruling to be made today. There was a ruling made about an indication made that an investigation would be done into Honourable Messina's use of the F word at the podium. That is not here. The longer we leave these unattended to, the more it affects the decorum of the House, and ask when can we expect a ruling on this matter.
There were a number of rulings that are outstanding, and Hansard has been requested to prioritize all outstanding matters from yesterday's sitting in order that as soon as possible the honourable member who was in the chair would be able to make those rulings as soon as possible. That's as far as we can take it at this point. Thank you very much, honourable members. What is the point?
Point of order, Speaker.
Yes, honourable.
Thank you, Speaker. Honourable Steenhuisen has just made a remark that the President has run away, which is not correct. He needs to withdraw that statement. The President is not a member of the House, and therefore once he's done with his business, it's normally the norm that he can stand and leave. He's not a member of the House. So that statement that he has made is unparliamentary, it's false, it's misleading, and therefore he needs to withdraw it.
Honourable member, I will look at the issue of saying the President has run away. I will look at it. The House is adjourned.
Well, that was a live crossing to Parliament in Cape Town, where President Jacob Zuma has been responding to issues raised during his budget vote address yesterday. Time to take a short break. I'll see you back in a moment.